Can't see her. Uh,
She's there, Devi.
She has joined Diti.
yeah, her video is on. Namaste, Supraja Didi. How are you? You're
Namaste.
on mute.
Namaste, namaste, Didi.
Namaste, Supraja Didi. Namaste.
Namaste,
Nice
ma'am.
to see you.
Namaste.
The
Namaste.
convener of the conference is here.
Yeah,
Not with any role, but we are really having a very good time here because I don't know, more than this hybrid, here this local conference which we are having is going very
Yeah,
nice.
very nice.
That way we are enjoying. Very nice.
nice. Very good. So we
Even
have
till
just
now,
1 minute to go.
yeah, please do. Yes.
No,
Yes.
you can still talk. There's 1 more minute. That's okay. It is nice
No,
to hear your experience of the conference also.
yeah, and even now 12 people were sitting together and sharing our explorations in all
Oh,
funny ways.
very nice. So we are missing all that. Okay, it's time now. Abhijita Didi.
Yeah. So welcome everybody. Namaste to everybody. So let's move on to the sharings, and I would just like to introduce our chairperson of for this program. Now we are going to have institutional and individual sharings, and we have with us Dr. Uma Kesa. She's B from Mysore University, MTech from VTU, and a PhD from Bangalore University. She's Dean first year, a professor, ECE department. She is a UHV cell member at RNSIT Bangalore. She has done her UHV programs and she's conducting them for the students. So, Namaste Didi, welcome.
Namaste, Didi. Thank you.
We have also Chairperson Dr. Yashwant Patilji. He is BE from Government College of Engineering, Pune, Maharashtra, PhD. He is professor and HOD with the Shivaji Rao Jonve College of Engineering and Technology, Asangaon, Maharashtra, with 28 years of teaching experience and involved with UHV related activities since May 2020. So, Namaste, Bhaiya. Welcome
Namaste.
to the
Namaste.
session. And
Namaste all.
over to you also, Bhaiya. Over to
Yes, Didi. Thank you. So, thanks, Didi, and welcome all the delegates here. Today, we have two sharings, institute sharings. The first one is about the transformation of inmates of Kanpur Central Jail. As all of us know, this UHV content we are trying to share with different components of the society, students, teachers, faculty members. And one among them is the important is the criminals. In fact, one such extension effort by Kanpur University has been done. We have got with us Nitesh Sachan ji, who will be sharing with us the details about this. So now I take this honor to introduce Nitesh ji. Nitesh Sachan ji, a student of Universal Human Values, is a passionate environmental advocate and the founder of Athak Foundation. He is an engineer by education with a master's degree from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai. He is very deeply committed to creating a community-driven solution to address the climatic crisis. Through the initiative like Apna Bartan Bank, Nitesh has built strong partnership with the local organizations, hosts, and institutions, making the sustainability a key focus and encouraging climatic actions. Rooted in Kanpur, he aspires to work for mindful living and collective responsibility for a healthier planet. So, Bhaiya, welcome. So now I will invite Sachanji for the presentation. Bhaiya, over to you.
Thank you, Bia. Thank you. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody whosoever is joining from different parts of the world. Uh, Thank you, Bia, for introducing me so nicely uh, and having me here today. I'm here to talk about a special initiative on how human values workshops are changing the lives in Kanpur district jail. The prisons are often seen as places for punishment, but what if they could become spaces for transformation? And this is the idea behind our program to help inmates develop values like trust, respect, and empathy, enabling them to live better lives inside and outside of the jail. Our journey began with a 15-day workshop for over 100 inmates, followed by 7 months of continuous engagement. And today I will be sharing the story of this effort, its impacts, and what we can learn from this for the future. So our work in, you can change the slides, or should I change the slides accordingly?
Yes, Bhaiya, I wish.
Okay. Okay. So we need to move on to this slide number 2. Um, our work in Kanpur district jail started with one question, and which was, how can you break the cycle of crime and imprisonment? And I'll explain about this cycle of crime and imprisonment afterwards. And we started with conducting a 15-day universal human values workshop. Initially, many inmates were resisted towards this idea, but as the days passed, they began reflecting on their actions and the relationships. Over the time, we noticed big changes, like inmates developed a sense of trust between themselves, they started respecting others, and many even expressed regrets for their past actions. And these shifts were the evidence that even in the harshest environment, like prison, positive transformation is possible. And we did not stop here. We continued working in the jail for next 7 months, reinforcing these ideas through regular follow-up sessions. So we will move on to the next slide then. So like before starting the main slide, I just wanted to give the glimpse of how and what the inmates looked like who attended our workshops. So 79% of these people who participated were under trials, meaning they were awaiting the court's decision. And 17% were the people who were convicted, and 4% like fell into the random other categories. And when we look at the age groups, we notice that 36%, a major chunk, was from age group which was from 18 to 30 years. And often this is the most productive phase of many of our lives. 40% were aged from 30 to 50 years, which reflects a mix of youth and maturity, so-called maturity. And other older participants, which were around 12% of them was from 50 to 60 years of age, and like 6% of them were above 60 years. So this diversity actually highlights that imprisonment impacts people across all age groups and all statuses. So moving on to the next slide, we can see in the next slide that the what is the education qualification of these people who attended the workshop in the jail. 29% were like less than class 10. They studied less than class 10. 36% of them had completed their schooling, but they did not got into the graduation. 17% of them were graduates, while only 9% of them were postgraduates. Surprisingly, 2% of them also held the technical degrees, and around 7% of the inmates were illiterate. So this was the education backgrounds of the people who attended, and out of the 18 convicted inmates, 94%, which is a very like big section, were serving life in prison. Like they were there for they will be there for their life, and only 6% of them were facing 7 to 9 years of jail. And this illustrates the serious nature of their crimes and the critical need for the transformation. So we'll move on to the next slide. And the next slide, this is the key messages which the Vice Chancellor of Kanpur University and the Superintendent of the jail have given to us uh, for the conducting this Universal Human Values Workshop. Now I move on to the next slide where we talk about what are the negative impacts of the imprisonment. And so let's first understand why this work is so important. Imprisonment affects not just the inmates, but also their families and the societies. For inmates, jail often leads to the mental health issues like anxiety and anger. After release, they face stigma and struggle to find jobs, pushing them back into crime. And on the other hand, for the families, the absence of a loved one creates emotional and financial stress, and it can harm the relationship, especially with their children. And if we go for the wider society, there is a cost of maintaining prisons, and there are disruptions caused by high crime rates and what all. So these are the problems that show that we need a new type of approach, one that addresses the root causes of the crime rather than just punishing these people. So this is how these were the backgrounds which we like researched, and then we wanted to move on to the next slide, please. So in the beginning, as I told you about the cycle of violence. Now, what we found was that because of the lack of understanding of harmony and competence to live with definite human conduct, we see that people are like living in a stressful life where they are facing a lot of tension, they are facing a lot of self-doubt, there's a lot of communication breakdown between their relatives and themselves. And this, when triggered by external and internal events, this leads to a very explosive kind of physical and emotional violence towards others and sometimes towards themselves also. And when these people are jailed, in the jail there's a lot of gang culture, peer pressure, they need to trade a lot of favors, and the violence is very normal there. So when this explosive material goes to the jail, the situation becomes worse, and it hardens certain kind of beliefs in the people who were jailed. And this leads to a lot of resentment, animosity, and revenge. And sometimes they also go into the denial mode also, and which again leads to a tension, stress, self-doubt, and communication background. So this is a cycle of violence which we understood most of the prisoners were going through. So if we move on to the next slide, our workshops were aimed to break this cycle of violence which we just referred to. And how do we do that? This was our main question. And so we came up with 5 key goals basically. One was like how we can inculcate these values, universal human values like trust and compassion, to create a positive environment in the jail. The second is that helping inmates change their behavior so that they can handle the conflicts, the internal conflicts inside the jail, as well as the conflicts which are happening between their family members and themselves also. And the third one is that, like improving the emotional health by teaching them to manage the stress and the anger. And fourthly, developing a method to include these values in prison programs for a long-term impact. And lastly, we wanted to expand this work to reach out to more jails so that more inmates and the staff, the jail staff across the system, can benefit from this thing. So this was all when we thought of like what could be our goals from this experiment. Moving on to the next slide, I will talk about like what was our methodology, and so which we formulated for these workshops. So first we started with the self-reflection. Inmates were encouraged to think deeply about their actions, emotions, and their relationships. This helps this helped them to understand where they went wrong and how to improve. Next, we talked about the natural acceptance. So instead of forcing ideas on them, we let them test these values in their own lives and see whether that works or not. Next, we then identify their life goals like happiness, prosperity. What is their happiness? What is their prosperity? And what is the idea of peace from their point of view? And by understanding what really matters, they can align their actions with these goals. And finally, then we emphasized upon interconnectedness, that how their actions affect their families, the society, and the nature. And this helps them to see the bigger picture and feel a sense of responsibility. Next, yeah. We also had a lot of questionnaire, a lot of group discussions between the business with a facilitator, which our team had, and we had a lot of open sharing. So this inculcated the feeling of trust in them. And we also had a weekly session, like firstly these 15 sessions were in continuation, then we also had a weekly session which was going on there. So this was the methodology which we used for these workshops. So now I will talk about what were the impacts which we could see. If you can move to the next slide, please. Yeah. So when we see this slide, we this is the like crux of lot of findings, lot of talks which we had with the business, and lot of them said that they hated their life. Lot of them said that they used to make a lot of wrong decisions in haste, and many of them did not know how to understand others, how whether they should trust others or not. So the changes we have seen were like truly inspiring. Like before the workshop, many inmates were full of anger and hate. They some of them also wanted to like go back to the normal society and they take revenge. And there were many of them who struggled to communicate with others also. So we can see a lot of uh, different kind of things which started happening in the jail. After this workshop, their behavior changed and they started thinking about acting, listening to others, and valuing relationships. One of the inmates said that now I see my wrong thoughts and I can correct them. I no longer feel the need for the revenge. And this happened. And these changes did not just happen in theory, they were visible in their daily life. So within a span of 15 days, we can feel, we could see the changes in the prisoners with a very few conflicts and more cooperation happening between the inmates. So this is what happened. If we move on to the next slide, we can see like uh, we can see that like now they value relationship. Like if somebody went to them, they listened to that person, and they also wanted to have a healthy relationship with that person. The anger which was in their mind for their family members also evaporated. And earlier they used to ignore what others are saying. So now they did not ignore them, they tried to learn something by listening to the others. So this is how they started valuing the relationship, the right kind of relationship with other inmates and with their family members also. If you move on to the next slide, we can see the what kind of impact they had. So they used to earn earlier. They used to think only about earning money any which way, and now they think that no, earning money is one part, but taking care of family, society, and nature, that also makes some sense. And many of them were habitual of having alcohol and other things, and now they thought that they will give up the alcohol and they will live a kind of good life which they wanted for their family. So these are the kind of transformation which happened during 15 days of the workshop which we had with the business. Uh, uh, if we move on to the next slide, like, this is what the business, the feedback which we got, and our question was that how this workshop was useful for these people. So one of the inmates shared that this workshop taught him how to live. He said that if I had learned this earlier, my life would have been very different. And the other said that I have decided to give up alcohol and lead a good life with the family. Also, like jail authorities noticed the improvements and they reported that very few fights are happening. A more positive attitudes is there amongst the inmates. And so this is the kind of impact which we see. If we move on to the next slide then. Yeah, next slide, because it more or less I have covered these points. So here we had some videos of testimonials of these people. Uh, if we have time, we can go through this. Otherwise, we can move ahead. So, like, what are the key activities? So, since June 2023, we have worked to sustain the impact of the workshop, and this is how we have done it. That we have started a weekly meeting session. So, these sessions have been focused on refreshing UHV concepts weekly, clarifying the doubts which people had, and then reinforcing the positive behavior. The other thing which we did was that we wanted to identify the potential leaders among the inmates themselves and then train them to facilitate the discussions, which then creating a system of peer-to-peer learning. So this was our idea. We have also piloted these workshops in other jails like Ghaziabad, Noida, and Meerut. So this has happened. And now we have made a report out of entire experience, and we have presented a 6 months UHV report to the authorities, which have a lot of recommendation which can be adopted in different parts of Uttar Pradesh jails. So this is what we have been able to do as a follow-up phase. If we move on to the next slide then. Yeah. So as a part of follow-up, we have also like given them some important tools. So one of them is that multimedia sessions. So daily themed activities like audio, video, and book readings are given to those inmates. We in Kanpur jail, a radio program was also started where short inspiring sessions delivered via radio, encouraging self-improvement and positive reflection. Because radio is easily accessible in Kanpur jail, so that was the program through radios. Uh, Peer-to-peer discussions inside a barrack was also facilitated. The group discussions were facilitated. We identify some of the leading inmates who inculcated the values of UHV, uh, and they were able to facilitate those sessions in their barracks. And then evaluation and assessment. So pre and post workshop feedback was very critical to measure the effectiveness and identify challenges and refining the program. So this is how we have been able to take the feedback. We have been able to sustain the momentum of the workshops. If you move ahead, then this is how we want to go ahead with that with the new presence. So first we want to have a criteria for the selection. The second one is we want to implement in a phased manner, and then we want to train these. So criteria for our selection is that we want to focus on prisons with high inmate population and suitable infrastructure, because it requires us a lot of open space to conduct the workshop, and not many prisons have those kind of facilities. We also want to go ahead with the reform ready prisons, because the collaboration with the jail staff is of utmost importance. And we want to target the prisons with high rates of violence for a greater impact. So this is the kind of selection criteria for the jails. Then we want to pilot these things, test the program in selected prisons. The second thing is that we want to measure the effectiveness and refine the approach. And then based upon these feedbacks and whatever experience which we have, we want to scale it to further prisons. We also want to like train facilitators who are aligned with UHV philosophy. We A separate kind of material has to be developed for prisons. So we need to work on those developing those materials and distributing that educational material to the prisons. And jail staff is a key stakeholder in all this experiment. So we also want to reach out and train the jail staff about the UHP concepts and the methods. And overall, we want to establish a system which favors these kind of reform in the prison. So this is what our expansion plan looks like. If you move on to the next slide, please. Uh, Based upon our limited experience of Kanpur jail, we have come up with some recommendations for future workshops. So we need a regular follow-up workshop to reinforce the learning and provide the continued support. Because after 15 days, if we are not continued with the our sessions, then that thing gets diluted over the time. We want to allocate more resources to extend the program's reach, because right now we sometimes feel that our energy is like we have less number of people focusing their energy on this present program. So we need to allocate more resources to this. We need to train the inmates to become peer facilitators, because this is very important. The prisoners live entire day and night with each other, and if somebody from themselves comes up as a facilitator, that becomes a very win-win situation for us. And as I told you, we want to tailor the content to meet the diverse background and learning needs for the inmates. So these are the recommendations which we uh, came up with. We also want to partner with local NGOs who are already working with human rights or the prisoners or the women in prisons. So that kind of collaboration and partnerships is something which we can look out for. So this is what we recommended after the first workshop. If you move on to the next slide, please. This is the vision for a long-term impact. We want to embed the UHV workshops into the official prison rehabilitation system. Prisons are already having that rehabilitation system. We need to embed those workshops. We need to create a process system and everything so that this model becomes easily replicable. We should come up with a lot of processes and systems so that the replication becomes very easy. And then we also need to regularly update our own UHV curriculum, which is based upon the research and feedback of the prison itself. We need to involve the community in rehabilitation and post-release support, because many times we have seen that the inmates, when they get released, their rehabilitation outside becomes a very tedious thing. So we also need to include the home and the society where these prisoners belong to. And last but not the least, we need to monitor and evaluate the whether our system and processes are giving us the desired result or not. So this is what we need to do, and this is our long-term vision. If we move ahead, then yeah. So this was all from my side. Uh, I hope I was able to convey what we could do in this last 7-8 months. And if you have any questions, I'm open to that.
Yes, thanks, Sajanji, for a very nice presentation. If participants, delegates wants to ask any question, they are welcome. Anybody wants to share their comments or any question?
Yeah, Niteshji, namaste, and very nice presentation.
Namaste,
So
Bhaiya.
I just wanted to means know means how this kind of program initiated means what motivated you to go ahead like this to take in jail, and when you have started this program, what kind of hurdles you have faced at the jail level itself? Ji.
Okay, Bhaiya. Bhaiya, the first thing is that like it was not only me who did this thing. I was a part of a bigger team, which is like Kanpur, under the guidance of Ganesh Bagadia ji and Bhanu Bhaiya and other people. So it was like that, and it initiated because in our one of the Parichaya Shivir, the introduction Shivir, the level 1 Shivir, uh, the deputy jailer had come to attend that program for 7 days. And when for the first 2 days, he was very skeptical about the entire UHV concept, but from third day onwards, he got the gist, and he said, and he attended all the 7 days, and he said that his business are the first would be the first beneficiary of UHV programs, and he could sense it because he attended that thing. And he told us that prisoners are in huge pain. He could see like what kind of like there are sometimes the people who have not done anything but they are in jail, so and they are living with people who have done gruesome like crimes. So in jail, the emotions run very high, the pain runs very high, and the need for right understanding is of utmost importance. So it was actually his initiative which the entire UHV team followed up, and we came up with this program.
I also have a question.
Where your follow-up, you had a second question also. I'm sorry. You said what were the challenges?
Yes, yes, yeah. What are the challenges you faced at the beginning of, carrying out this in the jail itself?
So,
Yeah.
the very first challenge like was like even though the deputy jailer sir was able to see through the program like what benefits it could get, but sometimes like getting support from other colleagues becomes extremely like crucial, and getting permissions is also very crucial. And so one is like bureaucratic thing, the other thing is like support from the peers, and the third thing is that like whether the inmates will be willing to attend this program or not, because we cannot force anything on them. So it was a challenge, initial challenge, but I think first day would have been a challenge, because first day with I think if I remember rightly around 120 people came up, and slowly like at the end of 7 days like there were 106 people, and in between many of them got bail and they got out of jail also. But we can't say, but so maintaining the interest, how like pitching this UHV to inmates was also one of the challenge. So people the um, like the credit goes to the people who signed up for this program without knowing that what they are going to uh, experience. So they thought it could be a yoga program or some rehabilitation program which the earlier in the jail used to be there. But somehow those people is like were there. They attended the entire program, and a lot of as I told you, the a lot of impact we could see. I hope I could answer your question properly.
Yeah, yeah, certainly. Nice and very encouraging program. Heads up to you, your team, and very inspirational. Thank you so much. Yeah,
Thank you,
best
sir.
wishes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Niteshji,
Aditi.
I have a question.
Hmm.
And of course, there is appreciation for all the work that you all have done. It's a very unique work and not commonly can be thought of,
Yes.
especially the name of the jail. We have never seen a jail, but at least you see movies and serials where you see a jail. So there is a lot of fear about the criminals and about the entire imagination of a jail.
Hmm.
So I just wanted to know that I know Bhanu Bhaiya was very much involved, Ganeshji was very involved.
Hmm.
All of y'all were greatly involved in this whole thing.
Yes.
Didn't y'all ever have the fear what will they do with y'all there? Then when they come out, what will they do with y'all? I mean, it's just a question. I don't know. It may be a
Yeah.
not.
No, so it was a kind of fearful. Like we were like I personally I can say for myself, I can't say for any other people like people who were there. So we 4 5 people were there, and for the very first day, like because the deputy jailer and other people were also with us, so there was nothing to fear. But like third, fourth day onwards, like they used to come in the last and other things. So, but when we like, it is all about our perceptions. When we think about, like for example, if we think about a tribal person, then we all see a person with a leaf and other things. When we think about a inmate or the prisoner, then we have some kind of perception because of the movies and the news which we get. But when we go there, many a times I felt personally that how am I different from these people? And they used to say that we are inside the jail because we got caught. But there are so many people who have done a lot of like criminal activities, and they are still outside. So, and we
Yeah.
don't know. So it was their perception. It was their point of view.
Yeah.
So, like after 3 4 days, like we were sitting in a group, we were talking, and they were coming to us. They were confessing that what crime they have done with so much of trust. I don't know how that trust came, all because of UHV and the content, how it was delivered, and the aura which the facilitators like Bhanu Bhaiya and Ganesh ji and these people carry. So trust develops from there, that thing. So once trust is there, that fear goes away. This is what I feel.
I think the base at the whole thing was where Bhanu Bhaiya and Ganeshji and all would have been able to see that relationship with them, that
Hmm.
feeling of affection. That is why this
Yeah.
whole process would have started.
Yes, yes.
Because for us to assume from here that fear is there, but probably it was because of their feeling of relationship that the entire process, the journey could begin. I mean, including you. You are also very young, and to go into all this at this stage and age, is very commendable. So I really want to congratulate the entire team for the very good, unique work that has been done, which really needs to be done at every you can say every jail. In fact,
Yes,
it's so nice if they can find a meaning to their life, even if they know they are going to be within the jail for a long time. But very nice.
there was a person who said that he will go out and take revenge. And you know what happened? That he was a political criminal. He did not do anything like that way. So he said, I will go out and take revenge from the police who has sent him to the jail. And but after attending the workshop, the same person, when he got out, he went to the police officer and he gave him mithai. And he said, because of you, I was able to attend the UHV workshop. So this is the
Oh,
kind of stories which we also
so nice.
see. Yes, yeah,
I know because of limited time, we are not able to explore more through you,
yeah.
but I'm sure a detailed discussion we can do it some other time also. Very
Yes.
nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Didi. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for listening to me.
Can I have one question?
Yes, Didi, if I have time, with permission, we can. Yes.
Ma'am, is it okay?
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Yeah. One thing,
Yashwant, we
first
have
of
to
all,
give you the
my
He's the chair.
congratulations to the whole team for the great idea and the courage you needed to take up this work and go ahead with it. And we
Thank
all
you.
should really applaud you. It was really a great analysis. One thing I would like to ask you is, in spite of all this, there were, I think, around 40% of the people from 30 to 50 age range, as you showed.
Mhm.
Did you change something in the UHV curriculum to attend to them specifically? Because they are in their prime and maybe getting to them exactly on this, making them accept. I think you need to put in a very good sales pitch initially to make them all attend also. What exactly did you do to draw in their attention and help them out?
No, it was the magic of UHV and the facilitators like Bhanu Bhaiya. Like they know the exact recipe of that magic. I am too young to comment on that thing. But one thing which I would like to say is that from the very first presentation which we had with the jailer superintendent and the entire staff, it clicked because they used to feel the pain which business was going through. And when so that was our first interaction with the jail department. So it clicked in the very first instance. And when we had a very first meeting about like this workshop with the prisoners, uh, I don't know how it happened, but during the like first 1.5 hours, first Bhanuvia listened to what these people said, and then uh, like he said few key things which resonated with those prisoners. है ना? So like you have to be there because like for me like I could never replicate one UHV session to some other thing. So you have to attend that thing in person to get that feeling that what resonated with them or not. But this is what I could say. I'm sorry that I could not tell you the exact recipe because of my lack of like memory and other things.
No, that's fine. Anyway, it should be there in your work presented somewhere.
Yes. Yeah.
And one suggestion is to do it for women also.
It was done in for the women in other jails.
Okay.
Because of the jail, the rules, we cannot mix both the populations because the women jails are
That is
separate
true.
and the lack of women facilitators also. Because in the women jail, only women can go and there are certain rules which we have to comply. But it was done. Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you, Didi.
Ji. Thank you, Sachin, for a very nice presentation.
Yashwant, I would want to just, there is an echo in the
Nice.
voice actually.
Acha, okay.
Yeah. By the time Bhaiya is correcting his mic, very
Didi,
nice
can you?
presentation, Nitish Bhaiya. I was just wondering, how do you see how people inside the jail wherein they are in isolation and people outside? Like, do you see these people who are inside the jail in that isolation, they are able to like explore these proposals with more depth? Does that transformation in certain people whomever it happens, does it really expedite that it becomes faster with the people who are in jail? Is there something like observation of yours, Bhaiya? That is what I wanted to ask.
Yes, Didi. I think uh, like they have gone through extreme experiences themselves. So like for the person like who is not in the jail and people normally they would have experienced a certain level of anger. Because of that, they are outside the jail. But these people have seen the extremes of all those emotions of love, anger, anxiety, you know. So they can. I could see. I could see when there were certain concepts when they understood the kind of questions they were asking, the depth of the questions, and all that stemming from their own personal experiences, and the kind of questions which they came up with, the kind of confessions they came up with, like that that was very different from a normal so-called normal people when they come to any kind of shivir or the conferences or the workshops. So those were definitely they were very different, and they were very profound, and they were very deeply personal sharings there.
Yeah.
Mm.
There will be some cases also wherein the people become so very like uh, affected by the kind of crime they have done, and now when they realize that what they have done, that
Yes.
immense impact, that emotion that we must
Yes,
be.
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there were certain cases where like husband was involved with uh, some kind of dowry cases and other things. The entire family uh, was affected because of that. Um, we cannot share the individual cases in the forums, but yes, effect like it was it. There were cases where somebody had done some heinous crime like rape or murder, something like. So there is a class system and caste system inside the jail also. So because of that, certain kind of crimes are not seen. They are seen criminals inside the jail also. So they face some kind of biasness or hatred from the from the fellow prisoners also. So a lot of things go into this thing.
And when they see other people accepting them, or there is this trust, maybe that itself would be like shattering them from inside, like, and they must be rethinking much more
Mm.
than what people outside, like, they forget, but they are there in that isolation, detention, and a lot
Yes,
of contemplation can happen with that
yes,
kind.
yes. So many times, like these prisoners were not in good talking terms with their family members also, because they thought that they are not, their family members are not working hard to get a good lawyer for them. Those were the cases. And after this workshop or during the workshop only, like they used to, they said, आज मैंने पापा से 2 साल बाद बात करी है, something like this. So that also happened. Yes.
Thank you, Priya. Very
Mm.
nice presentation,
Yes,
very nicely done. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Over
you.
to you, Bhaiya. Yashwant Bhaiya.
yes, Didi.
Eh,
Thank you very much. Am I audible, Didi?
Ji,
Yes.
Bhaiya. Now you're audible, Bhaiya.
Yes, yes. So, Sachin Bhaiya, thank you very much. Now it's time for the next presentation. For this, I will be inviting Supraja Didi, Dr. Supraja. Didi, welcome, Dr. Supraja.
Namaste, Yashwant Bhaiya.
Namaste, namaste. Didi, I will just take a few minutes to introduce you.
Sure, Bhaiya.
Dr. Supraja P is University Coordinator at SRM Institute of Science and Technology. She has completed her PhD from Anna University and volunteering at UHV activities since 2022, and in fact involved in many UHV related activities. In fact, one of the, I will say, the pillars of UHV initiative at SRM. So Dr. Supraja, welcome, over to you.
Namaste, Vaya. Namaste to all the delegates present here. So I am Supraja, working as Associate Professor at SRM Institute of Science and Technology. So in my today's discussion, I'll just put forward what are the efforts we have taken to implement this UHV and what are the impacts we could see at SRM Institute of Science and Technology. Hope my screen is visible and voice is audible.
Yes, visible.
Thank you, Maya. Thank you so much. So, even though we had a value education right from 2004, that is, we had it, but right after this MNP implementation articulations, the institution wants to understand, and we made an effort to understand this. What is this human values? What is its proposals? Because it has been said in the NEP, and especially during this COVID period, it was quite challenging for all of us. So we could see there is an imbalanced mindset amongst the people, like student, faculty, towards their wellness and well-being. It was quite increasing. So at that time, we were attending this UHV FDP and found this content is very helpful for our personal development, and also we could see the scope for the societal development. So we worked to understand what is the need of this value education. So one side, we are witnessing there is a development in the education system and also the education institution across the country. We are developing as an SRM university. There are a lot of campuses we are developing. But other side, we could see a lot of concerns. If I ask my students and faculty, I'm really happy. They are not. And then in the in the individual level, there is no happiness and there is no feeling of prosperity enough. And in the family level, there are a lot of issues, a lot of breakups are coming in. And in the society level, we cannot able to trust even a single person. I was just doubting whether this fruit is normal fruit or it's a pesticide. So a lot of problems in the societies. In spite of education institution is increasing, why these kind of problems still exist. So there, after going through this process, I could able to connect that. The reason is the holistic vision is not clear for everyone. So the present education system, as an educator, as a teacher, I could see we are more focusing on how to do part, how to make money, how to make things happen, but there is no clarity on what to do in the life. So I could say to my kids, like, I'm aware of the chemical formulas, I would know what is sun, moon. But the question is, do we really aware who we are? What is my role? What is my participation in this existence? So this question in my FDP session, it's triggered me very badly. So, and also we have a question, is the present education system is focusing on these kind of process of fulfilling the happiness and relationship, self-regulations. We are talking about the disease in the medical, but are we really into a self-regulation process? So I'm witnessing that the current education is morely focused on placements and morely focused to these skills. And we are just preparing the students for the physical facilities, earn more. It's like a job ready students, but not for the life ready. So there is a need to develop a plan related to the education, which is focused on this right understanding relationship and also the required skill for the physical facility. So it should be mainly focused towards the solution rather than the problem. So we all talk about the problem everywhere. Way before, whenever I go with my friends, we were discussing about the problem, but we don't know the solution. So now we have a program which I could able to see on my own. Then I could able to see the potential that when this is bringing in an education or an institution, what are the potential it has? So that I have felt. And then this to take to my higher ups, I need to frame the objective and outcome. So there, this objective has been framed. It is helping in the 4 different level. So in the individual level, because wherever we go talk with higher ups, there will be like, what will be the graduate attributes we will sort of obtaining it. So we frame up like where we are going to focus. So through this value-based education, we can reach the well-being for all. So that is what we aimed for, and we framed this objective that in the individual level, we need to develop a right understanding towards what is the clarity of the purpose of the life and help the students to identify their aspiration. As a result, some outcomes I could say there is an enhancement in the self-awareness and engage in the self-directed learning and build a self-confidence. And through the in the family level, through the students or through the faculty member, we are trying to reach the family. So positively, we can influence the people towards a great appreciation towards this universal human values, qualities such as empathy, compassion, and somewhere we are witnessing there is an improvement in the relationship with their own family and within the college community, and also it's facilitating the effective conflict resolution, because most of the time we spend time only for conflict resolution rather than putting it for the productivity. And in the society level, we can cultivate the responsible individual inclined towards a positive societal contribution and developing the personal traits like humility, integrity, adaptability. And this brings the collective culture of fearlessness in the society, and we can nurture the harmonious community. And in the final level, as a base of the UHP, we framed it. The nature level, we can make them to understand the coexistence, and we can bring outcomes like they are more environmentally responsible person, and they work on the sustainability and nurture the harmony between the human activity to without disturbing the natural world. So this objective was framed, and now we thought of taking up to the higher ups. The university-wide things to be formalized, because there are multiple level of decision makers. So a lot of discussions with the leaders, policy makers in the various level, individual interaction, like in the some common forum, formal or informal discussions. And we include the members from all the discipline, engineering, medical, S&S, law, and registrars, additional registrars, vice chancellor, pro vice chancellor, a lot of discussion with any level. And then we said, anyhow, oh, this is gonna be a help. Then they said, okay, go ahead with the value education cell. So, and then wherever it is possible, we try to bring in them to the UHV program. So some of the photos I have focused here is like, whenever UHV team comes for the FDPs, or if there are any chances to listen to their sharing, we bring in the leaders so that they can able to see, okay, it is bringing some changes with the people. So in that way, we try to involve the leaders, because these are the policymakers, their decision, good change can be there in an institution level. So then we went many stages to establish this value education cell. So the first level, after this leadership permission we got, the first level we want to set up a training for the faculty members. So the preparation of the faculty is very important, is what we felt. Initially there was a lot of mails way before even I attended through the mail from the registrar, but then it was like mandatory, one person has to go, two-person has to go, such kind of mails will come. So after seeing this as content potential, I was given an opportunity to coordinate this program to the faculty members. So initially mails we were sending to the faculties, but then the faculties are just treated like another mail, because they didn't know. If some people know this is where we want to go, then they will take it up, but that was not happening. So we thought we should sensitize this program to everyone. So we created an awareness program. Faculty members started attending this. So after this awareness program, faculty has the curiosity to attend this program. So now we want to facilitate. So we started sending the mails from AICT for online programs, and for the offline programs, we started conducting the in-house FDPs. So as a whole, in last 2 years, I could say, we conducted 3 introductory workshops and 4 UHV2 workshops, and 1 special program for Deans, Directors, and HOD UHV2, and advanced UHV3 program. And for the management people also, we conducted 1 MDP and holistic health program we have conducted. So faculty started attending this FDP, and they experimentally validated and found this content is very important and very useful. And they started motivating many faculties. And they go, whoever is going through workshop, they started discussing with the department, and they went after a set of batch completed, they went to their higher ups like head of the department and thanked them, saying that you sent us by force, but it was really helpful. We came to give that gratitude to you. So such kind of discussions was happened. So they started motivating the other faculties in with these efforts. Like past 2 years, through the in-house program and through the online program, we could able to cover the 1/3 of the faculty population of whole SRM. I could say we could reach around 1,500 plus. I definitely it will not be less, but more. Approximate, I have a count of 1,500 faculty who have completed this program in the introductory level, and 500 plus have attended the UHV program to facilitate them to take the classes for the students with the course. And there is no target we have set in SRM that faculty, this much of faculty only required to train, because this is not the content to reach to the students, but it is for every individual. So it is for all. It is for all, not only the faculty, but also for the non-teaching and for the other stakeholders. We are taking a lot of initiative. So we are also trying to prepare the faculty with all 8 modules, and regular meeting. We felt it's more important. So frequent meetings with the coordinator. We started SRM weekly meeting almost 1 year we conducted, and now that has been totally converted to SR weekly meeting. The whole Tamil Nadu we made it. So regular meetings, coordinators meeting, course handling meetings. It's a very informal kind of meeting, not like proper agenda. We will meet and have good discussions over there and sharings. And we started encouraging few volunteers for the regional level, university level, and national level, which really helped them to get exploration with different people as well. And we are trying to develop a UHV based counseling model, because before taking this UHV, I was heading the counseling cell as well. So, but I know there are students are facing a problems. Even most of the faculty drop into the cabin to take this counseling. But then I know there is a problem. Most of the time we just listen. We couldn't have any solution to say. We sometimes listen, but we don't have a content to discuss. But now this UHV has a content to tell them what reality they're missing to see. So this will helping me personally to take a UHV for the counseling the students. So we are trying to develop the whole counseling system of SRM can be based on this UHV. So these are some of the photos I could say where the faculty training was happened. So every faculty induction program, every year there will be one faculty induction program common. So all the new faculty will be given an awareness and a lot of workshops, UHV. So some of the UHV 3 workshops and some of the Dean Director MDP of UHV 1, 2, and some of the photos I have been posted here, and regular meeting with the higher ups and our official meetings with the online and offline. So some of the faculty's recommendations, or we could say the testimonials we have received, and one from my director international relations has mentioned, after attending this UHV FDP, he could see the relationship with his wife and children is getting better. And he was with this driver, and every time he's a timekeeper. So if there is a 1 minute late also, he used to think that the driver is purposely doing intention. So he used to scold. But after this UHV, driver didn't come on time one day. So he was patiently listening what happened. And driver used to say that my child is not well. And he was literally scared what the sir will say. But sir was so patient, and he said that no issues. I will go to the office. I will drive on my own. You can directly come and pick up me. So such instances are happening, and it was quite interesting to listen that from our higher ups that they could able to see the essence of this content. So they started complementing rather than bringing the complementing model rather than competing. So my dean sir mentioned that at present we have competition between the departments, between the faculty. This has to change it as a complementarity. And one of my HODs said, like, after this program, she went back to the department, and initially she used to doubt everybody because of the option. They don't want to do it. But later she started understanding the situation instead of immediate doubt on their intention. So after that behavior, she could receive a lot of thank you messages from her own colleagues stating that, ma'am, thanks for understanding us in this difficult situation. So she said she should practice this continuously. And some of the impact we have witnessing with the faculty, they are mentioning that we have taken a lot of impacts, a lot of faculty interviews, testimonials, forms, informal, many things we have taken. I'm not putting much over here. But 92% of faculty has felt that UHV has a greater potential for the self and the societal development. And they said that they could able to handle their personal and professional life in the better way. And they said they are witnessing the clarity of the purpose, because we are very busy running, but we don't know what we want to do. But the clarity has been increased, is what they have mentioned. So with this level of readiness of faculty training, we want to reach it to the student. So right from 2004, there was a value education programs in the various discipline, in the various programs. There are something called value-based programs, and it was there in the different disciplines, but it was not organized. It was not an organized or structured manner. Every department, in the name of professional ethics, in the name of human values, they are conducting some courses like humility. So in 2022, we made it a structure. What has been told by AICT, we have made it as a structure. This is one program. It's common to engineering or arts or whatever the course may be. These two programs are going to be in this way, this curriculum, and that has been set formalized, and we have implemented it in the engineering science, and even in the medical unit, we experimented it. So we started this 15 hours value-added courses for all first years and second year students. And this is the third year we are conducting this SIP program for medical unit as well. And UHV3, as per the norms we have implemented, it's quite common in every universities. And faculty mentor-mentee model is like a faculty, each 30 student, there will be one faculty mentor. And we are about to train that faculty. It means all the faculties need to be trained to handle their own 30 students. So that is our target. So slowly, that model has been developing. And student buddy program is initiated in the college. We have a student club, and students were like welcoming the juniors, and they are in the student induction program. They are helping the students. If you have any doubt regarding what to do in an enrollment, or throughout this 4 years, if you want any help, that batch of 20 students has come forward and said, we are there to help you. So it started in very small scale, I should say, but we are working on the process. So more the like-minded students can come in the future as well. So again, many testimonials from the kids saying that they have got a clarity in their life, their improvement in the relationships and mental being and responsible, and they have become more environmentally conscious. This is a common thing which is happening, but one interesting testimonial I could say is one of the students, second year student, where I handled UHV course. At the end of the semester, it was a sharing session. He was able to present how he has received this content. He mentioned that he was removed from the enrollment for not submitting his TC. But he was aware that he submitted his TC. But faculty advisor called him and said, no, you didn't submit your TC. So your name was removed from the enrollment. Only you submit the TC, again, we will readmit. So he went back to the many office across the department, I mean, in the administration office, he went. But everywhere the TC was not found. So he is from Hyderabad, so he gone to his native and he tried to get it through his school. The school said, we need a police certificate, FIR copy, and 15 days minimum. So FIR copy, 15 days is from Chennai to Hyderabad, Hyderabad to Chennai. Money is getting wasted and his energy is getting drained, but still he was trying as a whole, and 15 days later, he brought his TC certificate, a new copy. And the moment the faculty advisor about to keep it in the document where he's supposed to keep, he opened and checked his register number. The TC was already, the old TC was available. So the 15 days, this fellow has gone through a tough time. But then at that moment, he said in the sharing, I was about to be in a peak anger, ma'am. But then I remember my faculty advisor wouldn't have done this intentionally. Maybe that awareness was not there. So I could able to understand. So I said myself, it's okay, whatever is going to happen, let us see. You just submit it, and he came out. In spite, it's going to be detention, he didn't care about it. So faculty felt very bad. See, it's my mistake. Why this student has to suffer? So he went to my higher up, Dean sir, and said, it's totally my mistake. If that kid is getting detention, will be in a guilty. So you give any punishment like LOP or whatever, but then I take my responsibility. You please bringing out of. So after understanding the situation, Dean doesn't do even the punishment to the faculty. This situation was very smooth. So this he shared in the class. I felt really as a good teacher first time. Even after getting so many awards in my life, this was the best thing I had felt it. So I can impact one life. So this was greater impact, I could say, and many other recommendations to the students for the juniors, social related activities we were improved, and many people felt it's making a positive, and this is a general impact we can see. I want to just highlight the one which we could able to see. And we were involving them in the different activities of like outreach programs and SIP schedules for the first year, and taking them to the sustainable living, like zero waste, some forest trekkings, all these were with the students. But university future plan, I could say, this actually I initially had, we want to become a nodal center, regional center, resource center. This mindset was there, but now it's well-being for all. No matter what we're gonna become or not gonna become a nodal center, but through this education, at least this population of 50,000 students I could reach. So that is where we want to bring in. So through this value education has that potential. Through this, every single subject should be a value-based education, and this will start reflecting in my student and my faculty and my all the stakeholders living. This will impact their own life and their own family and the society. So our future plan is to incorporate this in a university mission vision and strengthening the dedicated department or a team for this faculty, because now it's all volunteers from different departments are stepping in whenever there is a time. But we can going to have a dedicated department and leadership programs, policymakers, still we are trying to reach them. It takes time, we know, because for us it is taking time to understand and to bringing to the head of the department level, teachers level, deans level. It took time. Again, it will take time to reach our chancellor's level. It will take time, but then we have that patience because we have seen the potential of the content. So also we want to develop the evaluation process. At current, there is a competition-based evaluation process, but then future we can develop a competence-based and faculty mentor-mentee program I have mentioned, and USP-based counseling model I mentioned. And also we need to reach this to all stakeholders, not just teaching, but also non-teaching programs. We have recently conducted 4-5 programs for non-teaching, caretaker Akanas, and as well as we are planning for the drivers, alumni, research scholars, all the level of programs, at least monthly 4-5 programs. Almost every day I'm in the process of these programs. And other institution also, we are reaching to the other institution, nearby institution. We go talk with them, bring some one faculty we will find out and then reach to them, voluntarily taking some awareness program. We are trying to reach it out. And as an internal as well as the external outreach program, some schools we went. And in this part, I'm not taking a much care because a lot of outreach programs happening in the college. I don't want to do anything extra. But what I do is I join with this NSS or UBA programs, and they are taking care of the doing part, like tree plantation. But we are working on the educating part. Why the tree plantation? It's just not same hole multiple times. Like what is the real essence out of it? So we are focusing only on the educating part rather than this activity part, I could say. And then we are so everyone needs to familiarize this with UHV content. So we want to reach it through the recorded materials and placing this content in a YouTube channel. So centralized repositories we have created as a resource center, and developing all the reference book, all the online, offline, you can keep it and have it in one place. So important links like weekly meeting link and all the links whichever is essential, it is kept in one place. And channel has been open. We are whatever the FDPs we have taken in SRM, that will be placed already. One sessions of Umesh Bhaiya we started posting, but at present little volunteering effort required for that. We are taking it forward. And biannual newsletters we are releasing, so that a lot of success stories people need to share or what they have gone through. So this is getting sensitized among everyone. So some of the links I have shared here. So, and as I mentioned, our experience at XRM is showing that this UHV in education has a very good potential for addressing all the students as well as every human's issue, faculty, I could say, and all the other stakeholders. So we could see the possibility of preparing the life-ready graduates and who can contribute the development of human society. So while we're making this good progress, 2 years, I could say we really came up with a very good progress. We feel that we can do it more. So our faculties were contributing members of national efforts. Uh, at least I could proudly say 10 of our faculty members consistently volunteering for the national team as well as in the regional team. And through many programs, we are trying to reach all the stakeholders. So as an extension activity, I said more institutions we are reaching to the nearby schools and families and multiple community. Yeah, in the February month, we are planning for a family workshops as well. Many faculties requested, we want to go with it. And SRM is extending it the support because with one institution, with more institution participating, there is no competition now, no rankings now. With more institution participating, we can be a help to each other and everyone can realize the full potential and we are all work together for a common goal. So that is what ultimately we wanted to do. So SRM, some of the photographs of activities, and this is what we all trying to do it here. And I could say that SRM is committed to this UHV, holistic value-based education, and we will work towards this transformation. So this is all about what I want to say today. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share what we have done, what are the efforts we have made to implement this. Namaste.
Dr. Supriya, a very nice presentation about the efforts which are being done at SRM Institute. In fact, you have been one of the pillars for all these efforts. It is really nice that not only this is being shared with the students, but we are also able to see that this is coming in living as shared by the HODs and students. And also now you are taking these efforts further to the family members, to the nearby colleges and schools. So that is a really very encouraging one. So thanks for a very nice presentation. Now, any one of us delegates, if they want to ask any question, they are welcome. Any one of us wants to ask any question to Dr. Supraja, they are welcome. Yes, Tara Bhaiya. Tara Prasanna ji.
Namaste, Tarabhaiya.
Sorry. Yeah, namaste.
Namaste.
So, I'm really, not in a state to put words. The efforts you have shown, means I really don't find the words, but it is really very much encouraging and I should say inspirational and guidance kind of thing for the new institutions who are coming up to implement this UHB. And like you have narrated very precisely, like means how you have started with individual, then at the institution level, what are the hurdles you faced, and how institution came back and trusted. Yes, it can have the potential. So it's really very much encouraging, and certainly when you are having a team and the team believes it can be done in the institutional level, slowly national level, and now we are seeing you in the international level. And I believe all these efforts by SRM, even to bring this content to the international level, is really commendable. So thank you so much. Best wishes. Thank you, and help most of the institutions across the country and beyond the country as well. Jay, thank you.
Thank you.
So nice of you.
long journey with all your supports as well. All of these mentors
true.
are a part of this. It's not just SRM, backbone is all the UHP co-explorers like you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, other delegates. Yes.
Just like to add something. If there is a question from the delegate, you can take that first.
जी Supraja ji.
Namaste, Bhaiya.
जी
Namaste.
जी very nicely dealt. Only a small question is there. Whatever you are developing in your institute, it is being developed by both. As you have given the example of the student, if the fault is not of the student, then teacher also took the responsibility, isn't it?
True, Bhaiya.
So we are unable to do this in our institute. So will you guide for 1 minute how to do? Everybody should have this self exploration, isn't it?
Bhaiya, I could say every single person, we have to reach every single person, absolutely no doubt. But then the environment should be conducive. But at present, see, there are two things in front of us. We can able to influence by negative or positive. At this moment, how much ever we put, it is taking at least 2 to 3 years for me to understand. And it will take time for the students or the next faculty to understand. So it is taking its own time. There is no hurry. And at the time of our own exploration, it will automatically becoming an inspiration to other person. If she has a guts to uh, come to the college with no makeup, why can't I? So that kind of changes they are trying to see, not
Yeah.
only in
Yeah.
your words, not only in your words, they are not just listening to you, they are observing. And that observation for you to give that inspiration to others, they are just looking at you, they are observing you. So rather than my kids in my own class, out of 50, I could say, the recent 3 months I have completed my UHV course. Initial first day, none of them has listened to my content. None of them. Hardly 5, hardly 4, second day, third day. But I could say at the end of my semester, out of this 55 to 60 kids, 35 kids started having an emotional feeling of I really went to take this content to one kid out in my class. I was not trying to reach everybody. That one kid can influence the second click, third click. So here the 80% of people are just following 20%. So if we could reach the 20% of the crowd, the 80% will just simply follow in the direction. So that is what I felt. I don't want to reach everybody. The content I can reach to everybody, but then the inspiration should come when they see, when they observe our behavior. That is what I strongly believe. And that I'm feeling that it is working here. So I don't want to tell them, do this, do that. By seeing me, they said, okay, Supraja can be happy. Let me also try. That is how
Yeah.
it's getting close.
She's happy at this way. 1 a.m. also. So let me be happy at 1 a.m. Thank you. Thank you, Didi. Ji, keep it up.
Thank
Thanks
you
a
so
lot.
much.
Nice presentation. Ji.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Dr. Uma, very
Yeah.
briefly because you can start.
I'd just like to add something before Dr. Uma says. I have myself personally witnessed at SRN, and I would really like to compliment the leadership quality that Supraja Didi has, and the kind of rapport that she has been able to create with all the colleagues. I mean, at her own level, the higher ups. I think that relationship which she has developed has also contributed to whatever it is. Content is definitely there, but I think her relationship with everyone there, I witnessed it myself, and I could see that she's able to make things happen because the way she's established her self with the others, her relation with the others. So really, thank you, congratulations to you.
Thank you, Ladi. Since you put a point of that relationship, one thing I could say, Many people asked, even the higher ups asked, shall we put compulsory for this course? I said no, let them volunteer, even 1, 2, 3, let them do it, take their own time. Even today, out of 40 core members, 10 turned up, but I feel 10, 2 years, at least 10 is here. So that is the best thing. And
Yeah.
two main core volunteer like Prithvi and Hema, they were in an operation theater and still they are calling and checking me. So Praja, are you okay? You can able to manage. I said it's fine. We could able to do that. The cost is there. We could able to see we are doing it for the right cost. No matter what, it will keep going. Somebody will come in the last moment and handle me at that point. I don't want to do anything. Now that is happening in my institution that I could
Yeah.
say.
Very nice. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much,
Uh,
Iladi.
Uma, yes, because we are running short
Yeah.
of time. Uma, Dr. Uma, very briefly.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, so
Yeah. Dr. Supraja, congratulations. I think you've done a wonderful job in your institution, and lots of inputs even I'm taking from here, because I know, since I'm in academics, I really understand the pain of getting things like this pushed to the higher ups and also in the student level, and that too making them voluntarily come is a great achievement. We are also quite trying a lot with that work. One thing what I would like to add is um, actually we had planned on implementing like one day. This was a plan, like you said, lead by example. So maybe we thought we'll incorporate something like walk or talk. We have a small garden, and where students who are willing can walk with the leaders of the institution, all good, and basically discuss in general any topic. That was one of our ideas. I just want you to validate it. And one more thing is, one day in a month as a happiness day, maybe one Saturday or something, where all could just learn to be happy, forget about their worries or something. These were two things we were planning. I just want you to give some inputs on that. And one question is, um, how do you bring about digital distraction? There is lots of digital distraction in students at this level. How do you plan on, like with UHV, what course, or how do you plan on getting that students free of this digital distraction? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Uma ma'am, for that first. I'll go with the third question, digital distraction. What I did is like, I didn't stop anybody using cell phone in the class. One thing, because the immediate opposition in me will come. The moment because at present, with this current level of competence, he's connected his happiness with that mobile. If I go take that mobile off from him, definitely he will have a lot of opposition in me, disconnection in me. Once it has come, then the student will never listen to me. So I had I was also addicted with the cell phones. I also had the practice of putting the status every single day. There will be a status in my WhatsApp. If you see me before 8 months, I could say, not in the even after this 2 years of UHV journey, 8 months before, I was in the practice. So if I couldn't able to come out of this mobile and the notification sound, immediately I want to address, then it is taking time for me. Similarly, that kids will also take time to get out of this digital distraction. So how did I came out of my digital time? More than this digital, I am going to that cell phone because I feel that is happiness. But if I see something more, the real happiness, this will automatically getting settled. Similarly, if my class students in the digital connection, if I put some joke, if I put my real instance to them, how my transmission happened, how I came out, they could able to connect with them. And in that, okay, ma'am stories are more interesting than what the reels I am seeing here. So they started keeping it down and started listening. But the more but the attention is sometimes go back to it, because like we are also physically present, but imagination goes somewhere. Go back. I said, okay, if it's going fine, don't control. So they're also trying just like me. I just need to understand and help him rather than putting a rules, don't use cell phone in my class. So this I tried, and students also trying. They also want to come out of it. We can show them a direction rather than giving them orders. So that is which worked for me. Probably you can try and see. So I come back to the walk and talk, ma'am. It's a very good idea because everybody wants to have the one-to-one interaction. So all they can easily come to you and talk what they feel, rather than, because I usually walk into my dean's director's room whenever I go, I never felt the positions of them. I felt they are just like another human being, just like me. So I was that comfort zone with them. If I had a positions in their mind, then there will be a lot of preconditioning. Okay, deans, I should dress up like this, I should be. So that will come. There will not be a natural flow of communication. So that I felt that even students should feel with us. We are here to help them, not to put them more pressure. So that they need to. So this walk and talk idea is very good. Please take it forward. And happiness day, I don't know what is your exact plan is, but I felt it should not create an excitement to the student. More than that, it should tell the students what is the true meaning of happiness. If that essence is coming out through the discussion, then that day to be celebrated. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Didi. We are short of time, so thanks to both the presenters, Sachanji and Dr. Supraja. Now over to Aparajidi for comments. Didi, over to you.
Thank you so much. Both the presentations were so very inspiring. And to listen to Dr. Supraja, how she's gone through the complete walkthrough of like how I had seen her in the first workshop, and now the sea change, like, and all the practical examples that you have placed, like, they are really inspiring. For your discussion with Dr. Uma also was really nice. So we all are getting a lot of insights as to how we can move ourselves in our institutions, how we can take this forward. Very importantly, what I got to note that was that let's focus on that education, and those activities will happen. You know, that is right, isn't it? And then focusing on the activities are going to happen, why the clarity will come to the student and why they are wanting to do that particular activity will also be clear to them. It's a very nice presentation. Both I'll thank Mr. Nitesh for that beautiful presentation on jail. It's very inspiring, and also to Dr. Supraja for this. Any questions? We are having 5 minutes. Yashwanji, if we can have some questions, you can go ahead, because we'll be having a break of half an hour, and then we can go for the panel discussions at 1:30. So by then, there are 5 minutes to go. We can have more.
Didi, we have one question by Rajesh Babu in the chat box to Supraja Didi. What could be the impact of this course after a student leaves the college and take up a job that is quite different from what had been taught at the college?
I could say we have just finished 3 years, 3 batches. So now the current batch is in a final year. So only when they move out, we could able to take the real impact. But then one difficulty I can say, students are very larger in the number. So in person, I couldn't go take the impacts. And faculty, through 120 faculty only, we are reaching this 10,000 students. So faculty itself has to develop their understanding and the competency to teach this course. So now the more focus is on our own faculties, multiple levels of discussions and bringing them in. Even the 60 to 40 to 60 dedicated faculties is our target to train them with various level to bring their understanding within. Then we are planning to go to the next level of the students. With this current level of competency only, we are tackling the faculty to the students. But then to bring in this right understanding, it will take a lot of time. So this impact to the alumni, all these we need to do, but in the larger scale, we will work. So immediate focus to be with our faculties and bringing in the policies is our first focus. Anyhow, the students are the target, but then the right platform and the environment, instead of giving the clarity, we shouldn't make more confusions to the students. That much of clarity we are working on. So that is our first target. Then we will reach it to the student and see how the life is getting changed and bringing their students back to the college. They can be explaining to our students in future. That will all happen, but it will take time because we are just 2 years of baby steps. So it will be a longer gonna be a longer journey for SRM. So I could say at present, we don't have any alumni who are passed out with the UHV, but in future, we'll come back with those impacts as well. Thank you.
I have a suggestion, Supraja Didi. I don't know, it's just a proposal. Maybe
Yes.
you can look at the impact of the passing batches who have been without UHV, and you
Okay,
can
Didi.
compare it with the batches in future who are passing out with UHV. Because you all are already having the value-added courses earlier since
Yes.
2004. So it'll be
Yes.
good to see, the difference in the impact that is created.
Thanks.
It'll be a
Didi.
nice longitudinal study then.
Very good suggestion. I will definitely work on it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Didi.
Very nice. I would like to thank Dr. Uma Kesar to chair the session, and also Dr. Yashwant Patilji to chair the session, and also the two presenters, Dr. Supraja and Mr. Nitesh, to have inspired us with their presentations. And these sharings happen to sharing that Supraja, they happened to place wherein the teacher went ahead and said that this is what I'm also, whatever is our faults, like we are really having that courage to come over it. And these sharings happen to really inspire us all and how we can make that difference. So those sharings are helping us, and we all are learning from each other like that. So with
Great.
this, we can come to the end of this session to only have a break, and then 1:30 move towards the panel discussion. Thank you everyone for being there.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
With due
Namaste.
permission, can we have
Namaste.
one group photograph, please? Yeah, is it customary? Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you so much. It's a really memorable moment, and even we are in the midnight in India, but still it gives a feeling like we do not depart.
Yeah.
I'm in the bright
Thank you
morning,
so much.
11:30 a.m.
Yeah.
in California.
Yeah, you are from California right now. Yes.
It's daytime.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
But even it is
Thank
one in the night in India, but still so cheerful faces we can see.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
At 1 a.m. Cheerful
Absolutely.
faces. Thank
Yes.
you.
And still one
So
panel to go.
the
Thank
panel
you.
session will start at 1:30
1:30.
a.m.
1:30 to
Yeah.
3.
Thank you.
There are room 1 education, room 2 health, and room 3 SDG.
Yeah. 1:30 IST, Indian Standard Time. Yeah. Thank you. Namaste, everybody.
Namaste.
Namaste.